Guys, it's Quanah back again with another Her Real Review. I am here to recap for you, the viewing audience, Handmaid's Tale, Season 4, Episode 1, entitled Pigs. Unfortunately, it's a universal truth. All pigs stink and men are pigs. No, I'm just joking about the second one. All right, so before we get started, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button and that bell notification so you can come back for all of my Handmaid's Tale recaps. And I hope that you let me know down below in the comments your thoughts as we go through this recap of this episode. So before we get started, spoilers for the entirety of the episode and seasons 1 through 3 in case I say something that you missed. If you want a non-spoiler review, you can go to the link up above and you can visit the non-spoiler review of the first 3 episodes where I don't tell you anything that happens. But in this episode, in this recap, I'm giving you all the tea. I'm spoiling and telling you everything. I'm going to do my best to not mention anything that happened in the other 2 episodes because I did watch them all together, binge watch them this morning, or whenever you're watching this, I binge watched them the morning that they came out from 12:45 until 3:45, just about. So a girl's tired, okay? All right, so let's get started. This episode picks up exactly where season 3 leaves off. June has been shot. She is being carried to safety by the handmaids, and they manage to escape the woods, but they got to stop that bleeding, and they have to use a hot poker or something to cauterize the wound so she can stop bleeding. And a girl is like going through sepsis and getting infections and whatnot. But 19 days later, she's doing better. They've been making homemade penicillin. They've been treating her. Her wound stinks. It looks nasty. It's still oozing, but she's alive. She's here. I'm here, God. I'm here. She here. We only see the handmaids, Gilead, and the only people that we really see in this episode in Canada are Serena Joy and Fred Waterford, who find out from Mark Turello, I think that's how you say his last name, that there was a flight of 86 children and some Marthas that managed to make it to Canada. And Fred is like, ooh, y'all about to start a war. And he's like, we're going to try to avoid that. And he's like, only way you're going to avoid that is giving those kids back to their parents. There was this misconception or this idea that Gilead really cares about children. Fred and Serena Joy have really bought into this idea that it's all for the children. But we all have been a part of this journey enough to know it's also about raping women, control, and power. So let's not even play those games. Back over in Gilead, we got our 2 fallouts from June's actions. We got Aunt Lydia, who has been interrogated, and she's looking beat down, okay? Between Emily stabbing her in the back in season 2 and going through everything she went through in season 3, she looks rough. And she's been interrogated, and she doesn't like it. But at the end of the day, she's like, you know what? You find June, bring her to me. I will punish her. She still is under the idea or the guise that she is doing the Lord's work. She is saving these girls. She is protecting them. She is helping them. And I'm not going to say that under the rules of Gilead, she's not to a certain extent, but she's very, I don't even want to use the word naive, delusional is the word I want to say, about her role in saving these women, right? Like, first of all, they're not girls. They're grown women, most of them, some are not, but most of them are grown women. Like, they're not girls. You're not saving them. They don't need to be saved. Okay. Stop. We also see, of course, Commander Lawrence. He didn't make away. He didn't get away. And his wife died last season. And now he's over there and he's got to convince them that he wasn't in on it. Luckily for them, it's Commander's dying. You know, June killed Commander Stabler last season. So, and then the one Martha killed her commander and the wife to get the little girl out of the house. So the little baby infant out the house. So there's that. So they need commanders. So they managed to keep Commander Lawrence in his position. And who pops up but Commander Blaine, aka Nick? I forgot that he was a commander even after I rewatched the whole 3 seasons. And he's a commander. He's supposed to be going to the front over in Chicago to fight against, you know, Canada or whatever, because, you know, that's right there. Nick is still, I'm hoping Nick is playing the long game, but and everything, but Nick is still, we don't know if Nick is an eye, if Nick, we don't know. Is Nick everything? I just don't even know with Nick. At any point in time, I feel like every time I think we know what Nick is up to, Nick turns around and he surprises us and we get thrown a curveball. So I just don't know. But he kind of helps Commander Lawrence, and Commander Lawrence ends up being, you know, okay for now. Okay for now. So long story short, he's good for now. Pause. Which I like Commander Lawrence. So, you know, I hope, and I think more than anything, we need somebody on the inside, so he has to stay. So that was another smart narrative point to keep him in the inside by making them forgive him. All right, so let's go back to June and the Handmaids. They have made it to this safe house, which is a pig farm. It's weird that this is a safe house because there's a commander that's running it, and that commander, from the actions we find out that he takes part in, it doesn't seem like he's all that much invested in helping people. So I'm assuming that this is solely off of the efforts of a couple of the guardians who were there. And I think a couple of the guardians are queer and homosexual. And I think that maybe that's also like they have a role in it. And so they help kind of create this. And there's some Marthas there that help create this as a safe house. But it's really weird that it's a safe house. I'm going to say that, like, as we find out more about the situation going on there, I'm like, how is this a safe house? I don't get it. We don't see the commander engage with with the handmaids at all. We meet, it's a pig farm. Janine is trotting, looking like a little Charlotte, like, well, it's not Charlotte, because Charlotte was the spider. I can't think of the name of the little girl from Charlotte's Web, but she's trotting around with the little pig, and she named the pig Darcy. And she's so, Janine is just the most precious thing. She really is. She's so precious. But we meet the commander's wife, who is this young, like 15, 16-year-old girl. All we get is her name, Mrs. Keys. And she is crazy, and basically what you would expect like a mini Karen to look like she's wants to help out. She's all aggressive. Oh my gosh, June, I can't believe you're here. Let's take out all the men right now. Let's just kill all the men right now. I'm ready. I'm ready to kill them all right now. This second, I'm in with you. But then 2 seconds later, when she basically feels dismissed by June and not accepted and embraced into the fold, she's sitting there shoving pork into poor Janine's mouth and being mean and being a witch, a wicked witch from the north. And it's like, girl, really? So anyway, they're on this pig farm. Life is good. They're living it up. They're dancing. They're drinking. They're having a good time. They're in relative safety. Eventually, they have to slaughter one of the pigs. So, R.I.P. Darcy. And Janine gives a little prayer. And it's so precious about the Lord providing for them. But then, like I said, Mrs. Keys gets pissed, mainly because she's jealous of the relationship between June and Janine, and she wants that relationship for her, and she shoves pork into Janine's mouth. And I was so ready. I was like, June, if you don't, I get it, because all these people have the ability to have these women killed, and so she's playing it smart, or as smart as she can. But I would have slapped the taste out of her mouth. No. But she goes and she tracks her down, and she's like, you're gonna pay these women some respect. Do you understand what they have been through? And so basically we find out that she has been through a very similar situation. Her husband is old. He can't maintain an erection, and because he can't, do that. He basically pimps her out to all these rando guys to sleep with her. Some of them even come back when her husband's not around, forcing themselves on her. And so basically she's just being pimped out to all these different guys, commanders, guardians, eyes, everybody, you can name it. And so that is why she has such an immense hatred for all these men and for Gilead. But at the same time, it explains why she's so aggressive. She hasn't had a maternal figure. She is placed in this position of where she's the woman of the house, and that should give her certain rights and dignities, but it doesn't. And you basically get to see, which we have seen all along, these women who have fallen in line with this. You have this cloak and this guise that you're going to somehow uphold the patriarchy and uphold the rights of these men, and that they're going to have your best interest at heart. And at the end of the day, she's not treated any better than a handmaid. In some regard, perhaps somewhat worse, or she's treated like a Jezebel. But even though she gets the title of a wife and the freedom to come and go, she doesn't have freedom at all. And so we're basically seeing the nuances kind of unfold of like, who are the victims of Gilead? It's the handmaids, it's the Marthas, it's the wives. In some cases, it can be some of the men. It's the children. All of these people are victims of this system, but so many of them are complicit in the system, more so than others because of the roles that they play. But when you pull back the veil, maybe they're not as complicit. Maybe they're just as afraid of what will happen to them. Ultimately, we get this guardian who shows up rambling on their property, and we find out that it's one of the guardians who has basically raped Mrs. Keys, and she gets him a little kick, and they take him out, and they take him down, and he gets executed. And we get to see the illusion of the idea of pigs being the pigs on the farm, but also the men being pigs as well. This kind of is a gateway for June to start trusting her. But it's also a look at the idea of like, they can't get complicit. They can't get complicit, but they also can't just sit in relative safety. Like, that's not going to be good enough for June. June can't just continue to hide out. She's going to need to keep fighting back. And that's what Mrs. Keys is urging her to do, is to keep fighting back. And so that's what she's going to take up. Now, she's got some stuff working against her, because you got Aunt Lydia, who is vengeance. She ready for her vengeance is mine moment. You got Gilead hunting her down. But then she has people who can help her. It's just none of those people are without their own selfish intentions. And so she's really going to have to be very meticulous about what happens. I would recommend that if you haven't watched episode 1 and you're just kind of listening for the recap, go back when you get a chance and look at the last 3 episodes. So episodes 10 through 13 of season 3, because I think you have to watch those to, one, remember some of the things that are alluded to in this episode, but also to kind of see some of the growth in June. I like June still so far. She's still got a lot of anger in her. She's still got a lot of fire in her. Let's see how long she can maintain that, because she still has to make it through in order to save Hannah. That's the promise that has to get fulfilled by the end of the show, is she has to, whether or not she lives, she got Nicole out. Luke is safe. Moira is safe. She has to save Hannah, even if she can't get out. And so that's the payoff that we're building to. The only thing is, how many people are going to be still alive who have helped her along the way? We don't know. And so we shall see. All right, guys, that was my whole recap of episode 1, season 4, Pigs. It was a good episode, a little low level at times, a couple of high moments, but a little low level, but overall still a solid showing. Not as good as some of the other season openers, especially Season 1 and 2 had stronger season openings. Season 3 wasn't as strong, but season 1 and 2 had stronger season openings, but still a good showing. And they were really smart to drop all 3 together. So if you get a chance to watch all 3 at the same time, go ahead and do it. Binge watch this weekend. I think you'll like it, even with me having spoiled some of it for you. So I will see you guys in the next video. I hope to give you guys all of my thoughts and opinions about The Handmaid's Tale, one of my favorite shows. I hope it's one of yours. Do me a favor and drop down below in the comments and let me know what you liked about this week's episode. And until next time, toodles!